Hello, welcome. This is my episode 6. No, try it. This is my Acolyte episode 6. That one too. Review. Um, I, hmm, I'm mixed reviews about this show. Um, Part of me quite likes it so far because it's a much darker Star Wars series we've got so far. Um, I mean, the Mandalorian was quite dark, but I feel this darker somehow. Um, I I'm annoyed because this whole uh, what the Jedi did, um, or I presume that they're May and Osa's homeworld, what the Jedi did, kind of almost get teased out, but kind of every time Saul's about to tell May, something happens, and then it's like, I'll tell you in a minute, I'll tell you in a minute, and then we never get around to it. So that's kind of annoying. Um, but you know, I think this episode was quite good because we got some um deeper understanding of the Force in general and the sort of um the dichotomy between the Jedi and the Sith kind of order, even though I'm not sure that Sith is a part of the order. He seems, well, we find out this episode he wants to order Jedi, which I I don't know if I like or don't really like. But yeah, he was at once a Jedi. Um, I I very much presume he's the apprentice to the Green Master Jedi. Um, because of two reasons. I think the fact that it's kind of hinted at when at the end of the episode when she kind of looks away like oh, and she said something about the bounce. So she has an idea it might be him, and he's got a scar on his back, which looks a little bit similar. Well, we've not seen it before, but it looks like oh, uh, maybe a whip, and she has a whip lightsaber, which I'm really looking forward to seeing her fight with because we've not seen that in the Star Wars live action before. We've seen the lightsaber whip in the um, Clone Wars in series mm, maybe 4. Anakin goes to a world um, where I have a feeling they might have um, force powers, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Um, so we've seen it fight with animated, but never live action. So that could be interesting if it occurs. I hope it does, but also not too sure. Um, so we'll see. So I'm a bit confused with the Force in general, but also I quite like it because it would appear like the Sith is maybe a little bit stronger because he was able to sense Osha coming up to him in the like spa heated water bit, which was a bit weird, I thought, but okay. But then Cell wasn't able to sense her presence right at the beginning of the episode when she's there with a knife. So that was a little bit odd, but also it kind of it went to later on in the episode of because Cell wasn't focused on the force in that moment. She was very kind of angry with the ship not working. So maybe that kind of makes sense, I think. So yeah, that was interesting, but it would be nice to get that more in a conversational thing rather than seeing it. You know, um, so yeah, that happened. Scar, yeah, and somehow the ship knew he picked up May. Sorry, he picked up Osha, and so thought that was Osha on the ship until quite late on in the episode. So that was a bit like little bit bizarre. But yeah, with the Wonder Jedi. Yeah, I once again I found it very interesting how the Jedi are very much peace and harmony. That's how they're able to enter the Force with calm. But then anger and all these other emotions can also access the Force, which I found a very such an interesting way to kind of view it, because it can be seen like it's the Force that's happened. Um, but it's interesting how that's. I mean, I guess we already knew there were two ways to use the Force, but also it's never really been explained before. So I thought that was a bit interesting. Um, and his helmet is very interesting. It's made from cortosis, which is apparently something from Ned's material. Even though I've never heard of it before, but it's interesting because it seems to block the Jedi's power a tiny bit, but they can still access the Force. So and he's not quite blind when he's using it, but sort of. So it helps to increase the power because he's able to kind of always tap into the Force. So I'm not really sure how that works. Now, you see, my annoyance with that is the fact that, like, it almost raises the formal question, like, is it that his helmet, or did he, like, kill someone to get it, or did he design it himself? Like, how does he know about cortosis? Does everyone know about cortosis? Because he's the only one that's said it. So that would be quite interesting. And now they've made it canon, will we get more of a backstory for cortosis? And how similar is it to like Petguard? Cortosis seems to block some force powers. So I wonder if it's connected to the Jedi in um, like their origins. Will we see Cortez in the new Jedi film coming out? So that was interesting, um, and how it works. Um, and now will Osha actually enjoy wearing the helmet, and will she now be able to access her force powers, like at what point, or where it happened at the end of the series, where May or Osha, one of them I think, will probably die. What one? I don't really know. Or when they both die. I still don't really know if this series is like a one-off or are they going to make 2 or 3. I've tried to avoid watching other people's videos. It's because then I don't want their ideas to influence my ideas. But one I have seen, or I haven't seen the video, but seen like the what do you call it, like caption for the video, is even though this ship I don't think is connected to Darth Plagueis, I think he's his own like fraction of an order. Because he was a Jedi and Darth Plagueis was never a Jedi. I don't think. See, that's interesting. The whole rule of the two order. I my understanding is none of them were Jedi's before they were Sith. They were all kind of come into the order as Sith, which is interesting. And something I might do a whole video about is I wonder if it's easier for a Sith to train an apprentice who's not been indoctrinated into the Jedi Order first. Like, I wonder if it's easier to get people to become a Sith straight from like being young versus Jedi Order and then Sith Order after. So I might do a whole different video about that. And I think my only final comment would have to be about how they I'm really bad with the names. So the Green Jedi Master. Now she's wielding a purple lightsaber whip. Now, my understanding was, what's the name? Mace Windu was the only one to wield a purple lightsaber. So, does that mean, and I can't remember what's canon and what's not, but does that mean she is trained in the same fighting technique as Mace Windu, the Vapad or Vapad technique? And I have a tiny feeling the Green Jedi Master begins with V anyway. I think she actually might turn into being not the big bad. I think the Sith is still the big bad, but I think she's a tiny bit, what's the word? Not corrupted, but she's beginning to go down a bit of a path. She's not told anyone where Cell's going. And I wonder if, I don't think so, but maybe, she might make Cell, not turn into the bad guy, but seem like he's the bad guy. Like that other apprentice said, maybe it's him. And I sort of wonder if it might play out like that. Like, I don't think she's evil, but she's a little bit of a grey Jedi, but also a bit more of a, like, darker Jedi. I don't know. Like, maybe it ends up with her, like, going to meet the Sith or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, that's me done. Next time is the episode 7 review. And I've already kind of seen little bits of it. And it looks like a flashback to what happened with Osha and May's home planet. So we finally get to see what's so bad Tolvid, or whatever the name is, killed himself over. Because I think he was the youngest apprentice who went to that planet 16 years ago. So it would kind of make sense he was the most scarred from it. But also, yeah, what did the Order do? And does it have anything to do with this? Yeah. Or is it completely separate? I think one more comment would be, I'm still very confused with episode 3, I think it was, when we saw that first flashback, and saw tempting Osha to join the Order by showing her his lightsaber. It's not very Jedi like. Like, why would you show a child a weapon? Because that's what a lightsaber is. It's a weapon. If he had, like, I don't know, made something pretty using like a waterfall, or like using some kind of force power, okay, that I get, but he literally shows a child a weapon and goes, come and join us, come and make your weapon. And it's a bit like, that's not what the Jedi were about. And he wasn't even a apprentice at that point. He was, I presume he was a knight. Maybe an apprentice, but the other apprentice. So not the youngest one now. It just seems a little bit, I don't know, bit off, you know. Like, Jedi's aren't meant to use lightsabers as, they're only meant to use them as defense, sort of. Anyway, so we'll see. Thank you for joining me. See you again soon. Bye.